together and just shows up because he met Barry Oakley earlier that year, earlier in '68 at the Comic Club. So I think that whole confluence there. But I know that one of the discussions around here was, why is Dickie playing in a band with another guitarist? Dickie's the greatest thing we've ever heard in our lives. I've seen those accounts. Most of them, latter-day accounts. They're not from that era. But without a doubt, it sort of allowed that to happen when it went through. It's pretty remarkable. Yes, you are, sir?
Okay. I've never considered the Allman Brothers as a jam band.
Right.
Like Dead.
Right.
Are those long recorded jam sessions? Were they put together and then played, or was it complete improv? And like you said, they're talking to each other and working off each other. But then in the middle of it, 50 minutes in, they're going into an actual cover song.
Yeah.
And so, were they like the Dead? Were
No.
they
So
record jam sessions, or were those long songs like?
It's all that. So Candy, my wife, used to ask me, and our friends, like, why are you going to see them 3 days in a row? Like, even in the 90s and early 2000s, you could see 3 Allman Brothers shows in a row and get 3 completely different shows. No, they are. So the biggest difference, I would say, it's where they come from. I think the Allman Brothers come from blues and jazz, much more blues and jazz. Jazz, the way that I describe it, right, is you usually have chords that you play, and you have certain melodies that you follow, and then you hit a moment and you say, okay, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here, I can just stop, or whatever, and when I'm done, and then whatever. And the other guys, And so no, they practiced. They practiced, but those songs that you hear. So I'll give you an example. And then the Dead just sort of, and they're very famous for this. What this had to do with the psychedelics they were taking. Honestly, they make no bones about that, but it was like, okay, we're going to go down this road, and we're going to see wherever it takes us. The Allman Brothers and bands like that have a beginning and end. It's how you get to the end is what changes, and that's the jam part, or the jazz influence on it. They're virtuosos. Now, a band like Leonard Skinner, for example, who can rock out with the best of them, they've been playing the same solos since they figured out their solos all along. I heard Pink Floyd. I heard David Gilmour do this with Pink Floyd. I was like, are you kidding me? You're David Gilmour, but he plays the same solo in every single song. You will never hear that with the Allman Brothers, except on bad nights, for the most part. So no, it's just practice, it's honing your craft, and the difference is the Dead are just going, they're just wandering, and the Allman Brothers, there's an intent to it, and bands in that ilk.
Yeah, so you would not call it just jam.
Not in the pure sense of the word, but all those bands look up to that. Not like Fish or, Widespread Panic or something like that, certainly not the Dead. But they were contemporaries, and they were often compared to the Dead. There was a lot of that. I have a journal article I'll write one of these days about that. There's a lot of comparisons to that. A lot. Yes, sir.
With Derek and Susan opening up Friday nights here at the Soul Tour, what's your take on, of course, with Derek playing the Allman Brothers and his uncles? How do you, I don't use the word compare, for lack of a better word, influence. So talk about the two of them.
Derek and Susan or the two bands?
Their band versus, and the
Well, let me tell you something really interesting that you can ask us. So we leave tomorrow morning to go down south. I'm going to catch the second or third show of that tour. I love Tedeschi Trucks Band. I've loved them since the minute they started. There is some conjecture in some of the people who've done research on the Allmans and listened to stories. I think Duane would have gone in that direction. I think he would have added horns. No telling if he would have added a singer or another singer or something. He already had a great singer, but I think that he would have continued to add to the band, maybe background singers, sort of like Joe Cocker's Mad Dogs and Englishmen or something like that. So, a lot of my friends, I'm such a nerd about this stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? I think about it, I talk about it, I play the music all the time, but there's a lot of people who are really mad Derek broke up Derek Trucks Band and did this with Susan, and I think it's the coolest thing ever. I just absolutely love it. I love what he's doing. It's the next iteration, but it's different. They don't do a bunch of instrumentals, although they've started to do that. They've grown a lot. So I dig it a lot. Yes, sir.
You didn't mention Duane's playing with Eric Clapton. Is that just an album, or is that
one album? So I have to skip over that just in the interest of time. So it's a Layla album. And the story goes that the Allman Brothers were playing in Miami, and a show, and Derek and the Dominoes, Clapton's album, Clapton's band that recorded Layla was there. Went and saw the band live. Clapton was blown away by Derek, by Duane and Dickie, and then just asked Duane to stay and record the record. He was offered the chance to play in the band and would not leave the Allman Brothers Band. And, Eric's quote in his autobiography is, "I had found a musical brother, but he already had a brother." It's literally what he said. It would have been a huge leap for him. But Layla flopped when it came out. Rolling Stone didn't really like it. The band broke up very quickly, and it was only the next year, '72, that it was on a Eric Clapton anthology record. And Layla became the biggest hit of '72, and it stayed forever and made him money. Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the Rolling Stones jamming with Edward? It was I think when they wrote the Let It Bleed album, they had a bunch of stuff. They put it on an album. It's called Jamming with Edward.
Jamming with Edward, I'm not.
It's pretty cool. It's almost all instrumental.
The Stones. Interesting. I'll check that out. Yes, ma'am.
Where's the landmark on Riverside?
2844 Riverside. It's right in front of what's called the Gray House, which is where Barry and Dickie were living as the Second Coming's communal home. And that's where the Jacksonville jam on the 23rd, and then the band's first jam happened. So 2844. There's a marker. There's that. The house is still there. And in fact, it's owned by a major Allman Brothers fan. And he didn't even know it when he bought the house. Yeah, he just thought it was good juju. He liked it, and then it turns out, yeah, it's really good juju. Yeah. Okay.
And that was much rougher neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, and
Like you.
yeah, it's. I mean, and that's where all these hippies, sort of congregated in these little places, and these houses, big houses have been carved up into apartments and stuff like that. And Jacksonville, and up in Atlanta. I mean, all of these big cities, if you will, going through here. Jacksonville is pretty remarkable for having this funky little hippie community that happened to birth this band. It's pretty amazing. All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you guys for sticking it out to the bitter end.